Good evening. Welcome into our post-game reports. Clemson defeating South Carolina this afternoon in the Palmetto Bowl, 28-14. Our sports talk at the stadium is brought to you by the South Carolina Beef Council. So the wacky nature of this Palmetto Bowl series between South Carolina and Clemson continued this afternoon at Williams-Brice Stadium as the visiting team won again. Home team just can't win in this series. 6 straight wins for Clemson in Columbia now. Last home team to win in the series was Clemson back in 2018. South Carolina fans haven't had the chance to enjoy a home win over Clemson since 2013. This was a pretty tight game to the very end. Don't let the final score fool you if you don't know the details. It was only a 1-touchdown Clemson lead until Lenore Sellers threw a pick six with about 3:20 to play. And that gave the Tigers their 2-touchdown cushion, and they went on from there. Clemson was the more overall efficient team today. They played grinded-out football with long possessions, long drives that they turned into points. In South Carolina, they could only use their quick strike capability to put points on the board today. They did nothing, really nothing, except for maybe one drive in the second half, where they put together anything of any length. The Gamecocks couldn't run the football today against this Clemson defense. Clemson had a really good defensive plan to keep Lenore Sellers bottled up from a running game standpoint. He had a big day throwing the football, had a career-high day throwing the football, but he wasn't really able to get out and do anything consistently on the ground. You really have to point out Wade Woodaz as a key member defensively for Clemson, along with Ricardo Jones, who had 2 interceptions. But, remember, Woodaz was the one who was posterized by Sellers last year in that touchdown run to win the game at Death Valley. Today, he was able to bring Sellers down several times without Sellers breaking tackles. He broke up a 4th down pass to kill a South Carolina possession, so he redeemed himself quite well. But for the most part, the Clemson defense did a good job. Clemson outgained them, but it was almost exclusively on explosive plays. No taking the football and driving the ball against the Tigers. Meantime, that's exactly how Clemson operated against the South Carolina defense. So 79 plays to 61 in favor of Clemson. Clemson had the ball for 39 minutes. Third downs were huge. Clemson 7 of 17 is one of the reasons why the Tigers kept the ball so long. The Gamecocks were only 1 of 11 on third downs. The Gamecocks turned it over 4 times. Clemson only 1. Clemson had 5 sacks on the day to only 1 for the Gamecocks. How about that secondary? Yeah, the Clemson secondary, they gave up some deep balls, but they did knock down 11 passes to just 5 for South Carolina. Clemson finished with 415 yards to 422 for the Gamecocks, but Clemson was able to run the football better, 147 yards. Adam Randall had 102. The Gamecocks only rushed for 41 yards. Their running game was practically non-existent except for one little drive in the second half where their longest rush of the day was only 13 yards. So the Gamecocks had nothing going on the ground. Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik, he had a very good day, 24 of 39 for 268 yards. Did a nice job hanging in the pocket, finding his open receivers and putting the ball right where it needed to be. Antonio Williams, 7 catches for 66 yards. TJ Moore, he had some big catches, 6 for 101. For the Gamecocks, Sellers 23 of 42 for a career-high 381. He did have the 2 interceptions. Jacobs had 7 catches for 141 yards. That's a career high. And Nick Harbor had 6 for 115. So that's a career high as well. So a case where Clemson played physical, grinded out football. South Carolina tried to counter with explosive plays, big scoring plays. They just couldn't make the plays really in the fourth quarter. Once again, this game came down to the last 4 minutes with South Carolina down a touchdown with possession, but a pick six by Ricardo Jones sealed the deal for Clemson. So the Tigers Dance out of Columbia once again. And, they were dancing in the locker room with a sixth straight win at Williams-Brice Stadium. So the Tigers will move on to bowl play now. They'll find out a week from Sunday where they will be headed. It appears to be El Paso, Texas, or Tampa, Florida. Either one of those locations, most likely. Meantime, South Carolina finishes at 4-8, and it's a lot of heavy decisions weighing on Shane Beamer as he goes into the offseason, as he has pledged to his boss and to the Gamecock fans that he will fix the issues that caused the Gamecocks to fall out of the postseason after having such a great year last year. That'll do it for this report. Read more about today's game on our website, sportstalksc.com. Our thanks to our football coverage all season long to the South Carolina Beef Council. Once again, Clemson wins the Palmetto Bowl over South Carolina 28-14.